Hello and welcome to Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, episode 126. My name is Meg and I will be your host. You're joining me here in Frederick on May 14th. It is breezy and chilly and we are expecting thunderstorms today, but right now it's like 61, kind of nice. So I am going to not rush through the podcast, but I'm going to wait on editing and get the dog out. And then I will come in, and while it thunderstorms, I will do the editing. So, yes. What else? I changed my hair again. It's quarantine. I need something to do, right? And I've done a lot of knitting. There are a couple of finished objects. There's some things I want to chat about. There's the giveaways that I want to do. I pulled 2 winners, and I will announce them. I guess I can do it now, right? So last week I was laid up. My back was killing me. I'll talk all about it in Babel, but my back was killing me, couldn't do it. So I ended up going ahead and holding off on doing, I was going to do one last week and one this week, and then I was like, you know what, I'll just do them together. So you don't need to know the inner workings of my head, honestly. Anyway, Hook and Harbor Co. Was so kind and generous to send some gorgeous goodies, and I decided instead of putting them aside, it is a summertime and I wanted to just hop right into the giveaway. We have 2 winners because we have 2 skeins. So we've got this guy here, this guy here. Our winners are Beth Davies and Alyssa Funk. And I will put your names on the screen so that you can see how they're spelled in case for some reason you are also an Alyssa Funk or a Beth Davies. But I have gone ahead and contacted those winners and I will ship everything out to you once I have your information. And yeah, that's the exciting news. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Hook and Harbor Co. I was given permission to keep the mohair, and I think I am going to pair it with like a really bright, like siren type of blue, and make just maybe a little cowl or a everyday slouchy beanie by Dragonhorde Yarn. Yeah, something like that, like just something soft that will be around my neck. Or my head, I just want to touch it. It sounds so weird. I just want to pet it. It just, maybe like a nice just 1x1 rib. Or I could try the Bits and Bobs cowl. She just released that. That's the Bakery Bears, I believe. And yeah, that looks, it's like a fake brioche, which would be perfect because brioche with only one color would be a little bit harder. I don't really need harder right now. I really need harder. So thank you so much for everyone who participated. I had so much fun reading your favorite thing about summer. I actually did screenshot the answers, but of course my phone is recording right now. So yeah, I will have to, maybe I'll put it in the doodly-doo, you know, their answers of what their favorite things for summer was. I'm so sorry. I can't off the top of my head remember now. I am still in my first cup of coffee. This is Bones Coffee Company, which is an online coffee company. You can follow them online at Bones Coffee. Bones Coffee Company on Instagram or on their webpage. And the mug I am enjoying today, thank you everyone, you absolutely devilish pushers, all y'all. Yes, you. Yeah, everyone who messaged me was like, they just put up another release, so it's not sold out anymore. How could I resist? So this is a Kara Kozik mug, who I am like absolutely fangirling over as an artist. And it is through the Owl Crate /shop. So it's not a box. I don't have to buy the whole box. I go to Owl Crate /shop and then you're on their shopping page, and this is under Karakazak mugs. Literally a drop-down menu, so it's very easy to find once you're there. I have bought the Triwizard Tournament Year 4 mug. Dragon. The Arrival. I couldn't remember what was in the middle. It's the Arrival, so it's the ship and the castle and the, yeah, little thing there. And then we have the maze. Oh, so good. So good. So good. So good. And the graveyard with the port key. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it's so good. And I am drinking Bluesberry. Yeah, because it has, it is a very fun image, which I also love that artist, whoever does those, on the Bones Coffee Company, and it's Bluesberry, which is Blues Brothers inspired, so it's like two skeletons with their sunglasses and their fedora hat. Oh, it's so good. But anyway, I think that's all of the admin. Oh, I am still hosting the House Pride Cal 2020. So please go ahead, use that hashtag on Instagram. It is pretty thin on the ground. So more hashtags, pretty please. And then if you would pretty please go over to the Ravelry group and get involved over there. I do have all the links down below, and you can put up a photo or not. I just love photos. Somebody did remind me, if you have your photo in a project page, you can link that photo. So what I had done, for example, Box of Socks Cal, and I didn't have a paid membership, so I couldn't upload a photo. I went ahead, created a project page with no pattern, and I just put up photos that I want, and then I can pull them that way. I don't know if that's quite a hack, but just a photo, right? I'm not hurting anyone. But yeah, so you can do it that way, or just tell us what you're going to do, what you're going to work on, what you're going to make. I'd like to keep this going until maybe September 1st, because that would be going back to Hogwarts, right? Which, what happens when Hogwarts is in quarantine? Did anyone think of this? Oh boy. Yeah, we're still in quarantine, and I'm still staying in, staying safe, and that's about that on that front. I am done talking about it. Anyway, so House Pride Cal 2020. In my Ravelry, did my giveaway. I drank my coffee. I'm wearing Maybelline Matte Ink lipstick in the color Revolutionary, in case anyone's curious. And I am wearing Ardell Gel Magnetic Eyelashes. I'll talk about everything else in Makeup with Meg. Okay, which is when I'll talk about this whole thing. Yep, my hair's a lot later because I got bored, and I actually love it right now, so that'll last about a week, right? Episode 126, let's go. Start with a finished object. In FOs. I am super pleased to say that I did actually buckle myself down and finish something. I'm quite close on a lot of things to finishing things. I'm just stalling at the end, like stalling out. I don't know, just my brain isn't in a great space with the whole lockdown, which a lot of people are feeling that too. So it's nice to know that I'm not alone. But I am working on this in the Grunkles colorway, which was one of my How to Train Your Dragon series colorways. I did have somebody reach out and ask if I was going to be doing these again, and I said I would. They would be different than the first time, but the color palettes could remain the same. The inspiration is still the same. So I would love to do them again, but I would need enough interest. So if anyone didn't get the Dragons minis, or if you would want like 100 gram skeins of something, like, you gotta let me know, because I don't know to put something up unless you tell me. So, as a very small business, I try to err on the side of caution. I can't overstep everything, so please do let me know. What I will do is hunt down some photos of the original set and see how popular it still is, because I love dragons. I do a major set that includes the Night Furies and Light Furies, so it would be a new version of all the colors, same general color palette because the characters are kind of the same, and then adding in Night Furies and Light Furies, so it would be a 7 skein mini set. And I could actually add in a few more dragons. We could make it a nice 10. Interest in this would be very appreciated in the comments down below if you want me to make a Here Be Dragons type of set. All 10 minis redone. Ooh, I like it. Anyway, I'll let you guys decide on that. This is a sock for my husband, which is why it is so tall. And it's actually a tube that was cranked for me, but it is my yarn. It says Grunkles with a Knit Picks heel in chocolate or espresso. It's very dark brown. The Robin's back and Gypsy's down here with me this time. I put the heating pad on the couch to convince her to stay. And then I made her a fort, and she covered herself over in the blanket fort. Now she's in her little cave on my couch. My dog is both weird and awesome. But yeah, so it's a very dark brown, but I absolutely love this. And I love the male neutrality. Not that it's simply a male color, but it is something that I think a lot of guys would be like, yeah, I'd wear that. Like, if they're not comfortable with color. My husband's very comfortable with color, which I appreciate, because then I can knit him most things and he will, most things, and he will wear them. Especially socks. He's great with crazy socks. Throw a lime green stripe in there, whatever. Purple, fine. Pink, do it. So I love it because it does help me broaden his color palette, shall I say. Yes. Anyway, it's done. That's it. It's done. It was a sock tube, so it's 60 stitches around, which is a lot looser than I would be knitting for him. So I kind of pulled the yarn up. I actually could have put the heel in even higher. I might do on the second one actually, because I can. And he'll just get used to the fact that they are not quite the same. I have the second one, and I will show that off in whips, which we're not in yet because I'm not done. Ha ha ha. Okay, I have such a mess in front of me. I'm trying to pick things up where I won't disturb too much. Next up is I'm a knitting auntie, and I absolutely love it. So this is a baby cardigan. I love it. Look how cute it is. Can you imagine just holding a baby in it? Like do 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 do. I'm weird, I know. Anyway, this is the newborn vertebrae, or the baby vertebrae. I actually did pay for the pattern because it comes color coded in tons of sizes, and it talks about everything. So I thought that was great. And I just went ahead and bought the pattern. For some reason, one of my stitches got real weird. Oh, it's a decrease. That's it. I don't know. It created a little eye. Oh, she will not care. Can you see the whole thing? I think you can. Yes. So it is a fantastic kind of corally fuchsia color. It is in Seashell from Knit Picks. It is Knit Picks Brava Sport, and I worked it up on a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. And I did a magic loop for the sleeves, and I actually can notice my tension difference between knitting and purling and then straight knitting in the round on a 7 with the, those chunky needles on a magic loop. So I can actually see my tension get tighter, which is a little funny and weird. And then I just did a little bind off to leave it so that they could roll it as is. Though I do have this very ugly string that I would like to crop down a little bit more. I want to tighten it and then just trim it because it's not, I thought I wove it in, but apparently I wove it in and then I chopped it and then it just unwove. So, whoops. And now see this side isn't so bad. That side isn't so bad. But yeah, so that's pretty accurate color on screen. It is, yeah, it's very bright. It's very pretty. It's like an orangey pink, which I just think is going to be so sweet. So this is for our November baby, and she doesn't have a name yet. So I think they're calling her Princess Pax right now. So little princess will have her cute little cardigan, and I think that it's so soft and so nice. I really love Brava Sport for baby clothes because they're so soft. But yes, so this one is finished. I mostly like woven ends, did the things. I blocked it. It was, you know, an easy block. Oh gosh, it's so soft. It's so soft. And that's actually the second finished object. The first one that I was trying to do was Frida. So I am working on a small sweater collection. So I'm trying to like get my sizes and math down to a point that you could knit for a toddler. I'm having a bit of a struggle with the neck, but I will work that out. So yeah, so I'm in process of writing. It really doesn't look so small. So if you could picture, this could, like, the pattern itself is a repeat, so I could do more repeats and I could make myself a matching one. Isn't this fun? It's like a mommy and me type of collection, or daddy and me, whoever's knitting, really. Auntie and me, sister and me, sister sweaters. Oh my God, gosh. Okay, so I named this Frida because it reminded, the flowers that I was trying to do remind me of like Frida's flower head crown. And I am knitting it up in a very, very fun kind of fuchsia pink. Again, from Knit Picks, it is Brava Sport. And I knit most of this on a little like Zoom call that I had with some friends last week. And I knit 2 long sleeves. I think they're long enough. I mean, if they start rolling them up, that's fine, because they'll be, you know, too long. And then when they're too short, you can just bunch them and they look cute 3/4, because this is going to go to my niece, Quinn, who is going to be 1 this year in August. And I have to take the measurements and gauge and figure out like where I am actually with it, and then guess what age she could be, and then gift it kind of immediately. This was not blocked, so the color work could stand to have a little bit of a stretch. I think the neck could have a bit of a stretch. I did it with 1x1 alternating cable cast on, and I am just afraid that, I mean, it looks pretty big now, actually, now that I'm like holding it out like this. Oh, maybe it would be fine. I can't get it over my head, and I have a 22-3 inch head, and she already has a 16, maybe 17 now. I don't know how rapidly their head grows. Pretty fast as a kid, but like it does slow down after a little bit, and they hang around a certain head size while they're a child, and then they get bigger again, I guess. But yeah, so I'm not really sure where she is in her head growth. But yes, so the Frida sweater, it's not ready for testers yet. I love the pattern though. I'm super, super pleased with it. And I would probably choose a different yarn for my leaves next time. But I do like the, it's like a blue teal and then hot pink with little centers. Okay, Gypsy needed help setting her bed back up. So yeah, I am so excited. I think that this is probably a 1 to 2 size. I might rip out the neck and go back in and just make it like a rolled hem collar. so it doesn't have any ribbing at all. Or I might knit back and forth and create like a button closure in the back. All things to consider. So yeah, very excited. Considering that I have like no one to test it on, like to try it on and actually see how it fits, it's a little frustrating, but doing my best with what I've got. So yes, my little sweater, very excited. I love Frida. I think it's a very sweet sweater, and you can see the difference obviously from my newborn to 1-year-old. I hope. All right, I will put this over here now. And this is my other finished object. Okay. All right. Which brings us into whips. I actually think I forgot to talk about this the last podcast. I swear I had actually done it. I knit this entire sock apart from the cuff in one day. I cast it on and just like furiously knit on it. It is Colder Weather from Nomadic Yarns on her sport base. So I think there's 360 or 370 or 90 yards, somewhere in there. Little less than 400, maybe 360. Very, very, very pretty. And just kind of the colors that were speaking to me at the moment. Yeah, Colder Weather. Really enjoying it. And so I finished that entire thing, and then I took it out for a walk the next day, and I added in a green cuff, and I have that yarn set aside for the heel as well. So you see, if I had put a heel in this, I would have had another finished object, but I didn't. And I'm like this close to my Remember Me socks, but I didn't. What is wrong with me? I don't know. I do have, try to get it, yeah, there it is. All right, so here is the whip itself. This is the Colder Weather second sock. Went ahead, cast it on right away. And I am using a spiced apple cider tea in the mug that was inspired by the one that I own. It's a Disney mug of the skull from Snow White. So I will go ahead and pop that Progress Keeper up. If I work on these for any length of time, they should kind of get done because they are on a US 2. No, they're on a 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needle. So they're on a 1.5 and I am knitting with 50 stitches. So yeah, they're good walking knitting, though I have noticed having Gypsy tied around my waist has, I think it was attributing to my bad back problems. I think she was constantly pulling my lower spine out of alignment. So yeah, I haven't walked her with the bungee waist harness in over a week, and I haven't woken up with back pain. Might be a correlation. Not really sure how to tell. And I have that in my Pearl and Plum Studio. This was the first project bag that I ever bought, and it is the Exploding TARDIS. And I thought it would be good for walking knitting, where you could like put your arm through both of these. But the problem is, for me, a lot of times the gravity of it will pull it, and then it'll get so closed that I can't get my yarn out. So it's like, and then it's very long, like this part's very long. It's not ideal. Oh, I need to change my nails so bad. They're growing out, but what's worse is like the top is now not like even flush at all, so I keep catching on things, which is driving me slightly mad. Not gonna lie. So I have three more. I did separate and pick up the stitches for the next Grunkle sock. The toe is done on that tube, so I am working a cuff now, and then I will put the heel in, and then Pat will have a pair of socks, maybe for our date-iversary, which is June 8th. So that would be nice to do for him. Yeah. Okay, so I've had this yarn in stash since my first Maryland Sheep and Wool. It is Neighborhood Fiber Co. It's their worsted base, and it's got 440 yards, I think. It's very big and it's very pretty. I do love it. And so I caked it up and I started doing a sweater, which I did take a photo of. I'll try to insert it here. And it's for a new pattern that I'm working on called, I think it's either going to be Stardust or Stargazer. Might be Stardust. So I'm working on this and I'm really happy with it, but I didn't like how the stitches were looking in this yarn on these needles. Like my little crosses were more like arrows, and it looked very bulky. I'm not a big DK sweater weight person knitter. Wow, that was not English at all. But I figured, like, I've had this in stash for 2 years now, which isn't the worst, but could get better. So I went ahead and cast on a Love Your Stash shawl by Tammy Core. I've knit this one several times if you're a longtime viewer, so it's no surprise that I went back there. I did consider the Bennett Sister shawl in all garter, just nixing out anything that said stockinette. And just going and then trying to divide it in half, but then what if I didn't have enough, and da-da-da-da. Then I thought I would make a triangle shawl, going like this way, because I really liked, I can't think of what it was now. Oh, pants. It's gonna bug me. Oh wow, it's gone. Yeah, so I had another shawl that I really enjoyed knitting, so I would consider doing that again. I did it in the Marte colorway last time, and yeah, just absolutely obsessed. But yeah, so I started working on it, and I was like, you know what, this would be kind of safe, because if a triangle shawl isn't wide enough that I can't get it around I can't fold it around my neck like I want to. So at least I know this will be, like, when I'm done, I just run out, and I can always like add on something at the end, kind of like a grocery girl shawl type of deal. What is it? A girl from the grocery store shawl, you know, corner to corner. So, the Love Your Stash. I am trying to love my stash by just knitting some gorgeous garter. And I have a adorable, I think it's a donut with a dinosaur, which is so Patrick, because he loves donuts and he loves dinosaurs. So just makes me think of Pat when I use it. This is Simply Serving Handcrafts. Yeah, you can see the grow out on my nail. So bad. Need to finish it. Trying to decide what color to do next, though. Got a lot of fun ones. And like the pink has been great because it looks so good with my tan, like my hair now. So I could do the same color, but odds are I will want to change it up a little bit. So yeah, I haven't gotten massively far. I did go up and up and up and up and up until I got to a 10.5, 6.5 millimeter needle. Because my stitches down here were just so compacted. They just didn't have any squish, any breathing room. So I just kept going up needle sizes. I tried, I think I started on a 9, and then I went to a 10, and then I went to a 10.5, and then I went to 11, and that looked a little too lacy meshy, and I was like, okay. So 10.5 plus 10.5 has a lot of stretch and breathing room, so I think it will be good. I am probably going to pretty aggressively block it. I love stretching shawls out to have bigger shawls. But I think that this will be a really good wearable shawl too. So I haven't knit a shawl in what feels like ages. I guess the Akira by Tammy Gore with my Night Fury and Light Fury last summer was my last one. I was like July. Yeah. Again, that has some sad memories in it, so I don't wear it. It's a good shop sample. But for some reason, I just never wear it. All right, yeah, so shawl, working on giant needles. Shouldn't take too long if I actually sit down and do it. But I had knit the entire, so I had done the ribbing, the first increase, color work, the next increase, color work. And I was kind of on like the third increase to color work. And I was like, I was worried about the neck. So I tried it on and it was fine. I got it on, but then I just looked at the color work and I was like, I'm not happy with how it's laying. So either it's the pattern or it's the yarn. And I won't know until I try it with a different yarn. So I'm a massively fingering weight type of sweater knitter. I did dye up 3 skeins of my DK. I did get a new batch of DK in, so I will be putting up more kits for the cowls. I know I said that 2 weeks ago, but I finally got everything in the closet and counted, so do what I can with the willpower that I have, because it's not the time that I have. I have a lot of time right now. Apathy is strong and I hate it. I hate it. But I did finally get tons of orders packed up. So they're going out today. I do love the postal service for coming and picking them up. I miss having things to do, like going out and then getting coffee and like doing my groceries at the same time. It sounds stupid, but like I never get out of the house anyway. So like that's actually an outing. So yeah. And then my last, because I frogged the sweater, which again was hard because it's just a bummer when you spend like hours doing something and then it doesn't turn out well. It's just a super bummer, but yeah. My next one is a mint version of the newborn baby vertebrae. Again, US 7 needles, 4.5 millimeter. And I'm working with Knit Picks Brava Sport. And I tried to knit this one a little bit bigger. Let me see if I can grab it. Yep, it's bigger. You can see. Yep, there you go. It's a little bit longer. And everything's a little bit bigger. Like the sleeves are a little bit bigger. Super cute. I love it in this like kind of squishy sport. It's a very nice feeling. It looks like it's getting very white on camera. I can't tell if you're gonna get an accurate. When I'm editing, I'll tell you whether it really looks accurate or not, because I can kind of see, but it looks so pale. It's actually, it's a very nice green, like a spearmint type of green. It's very nice. So I'm halfway through, about quarter way through the second sleeve. And I'm a bit torn because I do love this and I love mint. I love mint, if you can't tell. But I think it would be really sweet to give to my neighbor. Her little girl is fitting into 3 to 6 month clothes and she's 5 months and she's a little bit small. So this would definitely be big for her now and would take her through summer, and like if she continues to be that kind of small, like would take her into her first birthday too. So I think I'm gonna block it and I'm gonna gift it to Ashton, because I'm getting quite attached to the not my baby. And yeah, she's very sweet, and I'm trying to, you know, keep a good friendly relationship because I really like them. So yeah, I think it would be just a very sweet little gift. And I actually finished this one off with ribbing, and I did a sewn tubular bind off. So it just rolls over. And I tried very hard to kind of weave that in to the point that you wouldn't see it if she went ahead for her and like flipped these up, that it wouldn't look super ugly in one spot. So that's the goal. I think it would also be super cute to kind of take a page out of the Gramps cardigan and do a different color for the shawl neck and for the cuffs and for the edging. Third idea I had was knit the sweater body gray and then knit an attached either like I-cord, probably thicker than an I-cord, like an attached ribbing border of like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 stitches, 7 stitches to go around, and you would attach it and like have it be like a scarf. So it's like a wearable scarf. So it would look like a Hogwarts uniform, or maybe like the Doctor with his 4th Doctor scarf, because I have sock yarn that goes in those colors. So I could literally just knit. I wouldn't have to change color, which seems amazing. So that would need what? He always had like a tannish, kind of brownish coat. So I'd need like camel colored coat. And I'm like really thinking about it now. Yeah, camel colored coat, and then the attached. Oh, I am so here for it. I'm so here for it. That would be so cute. But yes, it's precious. It's precious. I love it. I love it. I do. And I am super kind of, I mean, like for the amount of work that it takes, I am super close to being done. And just have a little bit more. And I used a US 4 for the ribbing. And I used a US 7 on the body. And the break, actually, maybe because I was being mindful, but I don't think I notice the difference between the back and forth knitting and the circular knitting as much. I can still tell where I joined, but probably because I'm looking for it, I don't think Ashton would ever notice. And I'm like, I'm tempted to keep things that I make for myself for later, like, but I feel like when it's my turn, like I'll have a whole idea of what I want, and the things that I made before might not fit into that at all. So might as well have them bring joy. Plus, if it's the next door neighbor baby, then I would still be able to see the sweater. It's like a small knit child that I'm giving to that child. It's weird, I know. I also knit 2 birds of happiness, neither of which I have. I will ask my mom to take a photo. I did green. I gave her my lime green one from St. Patrick's Day. No, that was before. Oh, that was for Mother's Day. So I gave her that one. Then I knit a headwig in my headwig color, His Owl, I think it's under, which is white with like black gray speckles. And then I knit one in the seashell color, the bright salmon-y coral color, because my grandmom's eyes are 97 years old, so she can't see very well anymore. She has trouble with like TV and reading, like, but I thought that was nice and bright, and they keep it in the sunroom, so she'd be able to see it. So I was just going for bright colors. I do not have much after knitting the larger size. I think I have enough to finish the sleeve. Hope I do, because I don't know if I have 2 of these. I did place a large order from Knit Picks, which I think I talked about previously. So I have it all in a bin now. I still do want to make Quinn a unicorn, actually for her first birthday, because maybe by August I'll be able to go up and actually see her. But yeah, that is all my knitting. So now I will move into Babble and Makeup with Meg. If you were just here for the crafting, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I can't wait to see you again. And if you're sticking around, thanks bunches, and let us continue. Another sip. So what I started doing with my sweaters, which I have some things that are still in progress that I don't want to share yet, but I can share this. What I've done is created like a coloring page. You kind of recognize these from my Hogwarts A History if you own it. It comes with a transfiguration page where you would plan out the yoke. So all of that. Now, the sweaters that I've been making recently have pre-planned yokes. So I give you what you do, like the Granger sweater. I give you this. And then I did give like another set of charts that like if you don't want to do A, you can do B because it's the same number, so you can swap them. So yeah, it's quite light. You might not be able to see it too well, but yes, I've been drawing out these sweaters and then kind of hand drawing in the designs, and I'm keeping them black and white at first so that I can make copies, and then on my newer patterns you'll be able to plan your colors on that physical page. So my suggestion would be, well, no, because it's not like one type of thing. You could print the single page of the pattern as many times as you want. I was gonna say, like, don't color on the original, but you can just reprint it, so that doesn't really apply. But you can just do different versions and like play with different color ideas and then find which one you like best. So that's something that I've been working on. I also am working on my like upping my schematic everything. So I do wanna continue to grow with that. Oh, what else? That is design stuff, and I will be doing the cowl packs. That's it, the cowl packs. Oh, what I'm wearing, which I'll try to put a note in the beginning because I totally forgot to say anything, but I am wearing my Sea Glass Racerback. So it has a fun little, I don't know if you can see, fun little racerback. You can add sleeves. I have a cap sleeve short row option in the pattern. A lot of people have taken me up on that, so I'm really glad that I took the time to try to figure out a basic, and this is like my first pattern that was like sweater. So yes, and it has an I-cord on the edges here and edges here, and it finishes with this nice little lace motif at the bottom, which you can omit and just do ribbing or split rib, so you know, have splits on both sides. I don't know if you heard the dog. And I worked this up in the Sea Glass colorway from Hedgehog Fibers, or was I just calling it Sea Glass and it had a different name? It could be like pistachio, and I would still call it Sea Glass. That's kind of where the name came from. This is what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Sea Glass. And yeah, I knit it with 2 skeins. 2 skeins of Hedgehog Fibers, which would have been 395 meters. 395 meters, I think. But yeah. So I am super pleased with it, and I threw it back on because it goes with my hair. It's very summery, and I like that too. I spent almost all day outside yesterday, because it was gorgeous, but they were cutting the grass, and my allergies have been just horrendous since then. So I'm fine. just have a little sinus pressure because of all of this like growth. Everything outside is just bloomed, which is beautiful, but I'm just more sensitive to the pollen than I used to be. So working through it. But yeah, so that's what I'm wearing, and I've got fun stuff planned. You can see Frida, but you can't see my other stuff yet. Sorry. What else? I will work on getting a mock-up for Stargazer, because I think that would just be so fun to see. It's really fun for me to be able to see it out there, you know, just like look at it. So maybe I'll spend some time on that today. Anyway, I have been trying to get more active. Now, I was quite derailed last week because of my back. I did have my MRI on Tuesday. Thank you everyone for your good wishes. If you're curious what's going on, you're still here and you want to know, I have MS. I have multiple sclerosis. I've been diagnosed 2 years ago. And I take an infusion twice a year for it's called Ocrevus. If you see a commercial on the TV and they just say 2 times a year, that's it. That's the drug. But anyway, it's been working great for me because my full MRI came back and nothing has changed, which is amazing. We are all very pleased about that. It's never going to go away, but if I can just kind of halt rogue robots, if I can just halt it in its tracks, then that would be perfect. So yeah, that was Tuesday. So I had an MRI. It took almost an hour and 45 minutes on the table. And basically you're laying on like a bench, plastic bench, and they put a pillow under your legs. But for me, my legs were not in a proper position for my back. So I could almost not stand up after the hour and a half. I had pinched something or pulled something in my back. I couldn't bend over, I couldn't twist. It was like breakout pain where you like cry out and like you can't stop it. It was not fun. It was horrendous. I had driven myself, so I had to like hobble my way back to do it. Oh my gosh. It was drive home. Oh my God. It hurt so bad. Hurt so bad. So I was like, all right, I'll sleep it off. It'll be fine. The next day, even worse. So I telehealthed in with a doctor and they gave me a painkiller. So I've been taking that sparingly, and I'm not on it anymore, which is great. So by Monday, my back was feeling better, which was amazing. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who was celebrating, and hugs to anyone who needs it for that. Ours was a little bittersweet, of course. So yeah, back was killing me. But point of the story is I've been trying to get more active, and as like an anniversary gift to me, Pat and I bought a Wizard Run. It's called the Wizard Run. Okay, so this is the t-shirt that you get. There's a couple different Wizard Run versions, but I really liked this motif. And I got the XL, so it's like pretty loose and it's very soft. This is Next Level apparel, and I bought the XL because they do tend to run a little bit tight. But I just love it. It'll be great for runs or bed shirts or whatever. I might trim down the sleeves because they go all the way down to my elbow. And then you get a medal, which I haven't earned yet. We are hoping to do our 5K on Saturday if it's not raining. But this is the medal that you get, which is just very pretty artwork. And it says Wizard Run, finisher. Yeah, which I haven't earned, but I will. It's a 3.1 tenths. Yeah, 3.1. And then, which is, you know, like legit why I wanted it, you get a wand, which which is so cool. And I think it's like it's very up my alley. There were 5 or 6 different ones. It's a blind pick. You don't get to choose. So this one feels great for me. My Harry Potter wand is a 13¼ inches mahogany, lightly springy, great for charm work. And it has, is it dragon? Heartstring as a core. So that's my Potter World wand, Pottermore wand. So this one actually looks very similar to what I thought my fake wand would look like. So I'm actually kind of thrilled with it. It'll be perfect for cosplay and costumes and playtime. It's a little dangerous for kids because it's quite heavy. Yeah, if you can hear that, like it's quite heavy, it's quite sturdy, but it is very fun. And there were several different ones. There was a gold one that I just did not want. And I might actually glue a gem on the top there. I think that would be very cool. Just something small to give it a little bling, little pizzazz. But I am super thrilled with it. So yes, as I feel so magical. Let's talk about my hair, right? I got bored. I am a chameleon, truly. I feel very tonks. I change my hair a lot. So what I did this time was all this bleach was already in my hair. And I had just been putting fashion colors over it. So it was red because I wanted to do poison ivy, but then I was kind of getting bored with the red and it wasn't looking good. It was just like so choppy, I felt. So I went over it and then it was really dark, which was good. And then I was missing the brighter colors already. So I started to try and lighten it myself. Maybe it was 2 weeks, took me to get a box of Overtone here. So if you've never used Overtone, it smells horrible. It's a very like eggy, rotten egg type of smell and a little bit of citrus in there. Yeah, it's like an orange, it's a rotten orange egg. Sounds horrible, I know, but it really works. So all of those colors that were still in my hair absolutely came out. I got back to the blonde that was underneath. You can see I've got some like bright pieces in here. Yeah, it's so bright, and I put it all over. I didn't focus it too much on my roots because they were already brown, and I didn't think that, obviously it probably wouldn't have picked up anything anyway because it was not it's not a bleach, it's a remover. Basing it's off of, I think it's vitamin C is a big component of what's that orange smell. So you can see it's just a lot lighter, but I'm actually quite pleased with it. It's kind of like a light brown right now. And yesterday already I was like getting bored with it. When you come out with Overtone, it sometimes does go orange because it just lifts to the level that you were, and I was probably a bit orangey after the salon, and then I was toned, but we took all of that out. So I had to retone it, which is where you kind of add in your opposite color wheel colors. So I was having a lot of orange, so I needed to tone it with blue because that's the complementary color. So I put a couple of drops in a container of conditioner, mixed it around to get like a periwinkle type of color. And then I just applied it all over and washed it out in like 15 or 20 minutes, and it worked. It went definitely more like of a brown gold than an orange yellow. Awesome. But it was a little darker than I wanted it. So I had been doing some research and I decided to make my own sun-in. So yesterday I went ahead and I put a 20 developer chamomile tea, water, and lime juice in a spray bottle. Sprayed the whole back of my head and like bits of the front too. And just kind of focused from here down because I don't want my roots to get that colored because I would like the fact that they're darker. That's fine. It helps with the blend. So I would say that this definitely got lighter yesterday. And it didn't go orangey. It went much more beigey blonde, which I was thrilled with. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. There's a spot under here that's a little bit darker that I'd like to, yeah, that guy, that I'd like to focus on today. But I probably should give it a rest in between, so maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. It is supposed to rain, and I used sun in. I used sun as the heat component, so I sprayed it on my head, and then I went and I sat in the sun on the porch. And that worked really well. But if it's raining, you can use your hair dryer on a low setting, same as you would with sun in. Since I used peroxide in my developer, I did wash it out. I used Go Blonder shampoo. Yeah, so I did wash it out. Typically sun in you can leave in. But I didn't, just because I wasn't sure. I had done a homemade blend and I wasn't sure if it should be left on. My hair does feel great. It feels very soft, so I just play with it. I do this a lot now. I am growing it out for the time being. I'm thinking a lob, so if I can get it down. I'm quite curious to see how long I could get it by my birthday, which would be December, which is kind of the next time I think I could get a haircut. I know a lot of things are opening, but I am still playing it safe for a while. So, maybe September. Maybe September. I slept really well. Weird, my neck hurts right here. Anyway, you don't need to know that. I am hungry. You don't need to know that either. But yeah, it's almost lunchtime, so I'll eat breakfast. And get the pudge out on the porch while it's still pretty nice. I think that's everything I've got to share with you this time. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. And but there's another cup of blueberry coffee upstairs that I think is calling my name. Yeah. I do have a collaboration coming up. But I kind of want to hold off until I have them in my hands. But I am going to be an ambassador for Bliss Body Shop, which is workout pants. So excited. I got 2 colors. I have a blue and a black coming. They look really, really good. And they look mostly high-waisted. I ordered the XL because I think that that's where my hips are right now. And I hope they fit. So I can't really say too much about them because I don't have them in my hand, but they look really, really cute and they look very comfy. And I'm just thrilled to have been contacted. So you'll hear a little bit about that once they get in. Could be another 2 weeks. I will have a coupon code, which I will start linking down below, that you can get a percentage off in their shop. I think it's a 15% off of anything in the shop. So that is pretty cool. They are a UK brand. Yeah, and that's where I'm starting. I'm just teasing, doing a teaser trailer. And obviously more to come. So with that, reminding you to take it 1 cup at a time, no matter how large that cup may be. And I will see you next week.